I think the particular appeal about Nutcracker is, in our country, it's performed during the holidays. And everybody's very, very familiar with the music. Everybody's in a good spirit. The holiday is a happy time, families. And our production of the Nutcracker is about families. It's a story about a family. It's a story about a young lady. She's, in our production, her name is Maria, and she's about 13, 14 years old. And her relationship to Drosselmeyer, and in our case, we have the pleasure of presenting Drew Thomas, who I've known since the 80s, and he's flourished into this amazing illusionist magician. So we've been doing off and on, you know, this Drosselmeyer for many, many, many years. And you really can finesse things. It really is fun telling the story through the magician.
Well, last year was very interesting. I was brought in as a consultant to help create magic for the Atlanta Ballet, to make the moments a reality where magic was once implied, but now suddenly it's real. However, this year I'm stepping up to the front line and taking on the role of Herr Drosselmeyer, presenting the magic. As an illusionist, this is a marvelous opportunity because I get to create magic in an environment that's a lot more real than if I were a magician doing a magic show. The reason being, in that case, in a magic show, I have to try and convince you to believe me, but in the context of a story, of a ballet, well, you want to believe. The story pulls you in and suddenly magic happens and you're like, wow, that's great. Call for it, catch it, boom. I've had to exercise some muscles that go beyond my magic muscles, such as my dance muscles, learn to plie and all those things. Thankfully, movement comes naturally to me. However, no, I am not a dancer. And with John McFall's, our artistic director, John McFall's interpretation, he has Drosselmeyer playing a very active role, not only as this mysterious character, but he is also partnering with Maria. So I had to learn to do some lifts and so forth, and actually it's turned out great. I'm lucky. I've adapted quickly to it, and the cast has been very supportive.
It's always important to keep things fresh so that they maintain a spontaneity, because every time you tell that story, it's the first time for that audience. And no matter how many times you perform it, that experience, that's their special opportunity. And so it's also important for our dancers in the company so that they have new roles to do, and we do them in fresh and different kinds of ways. So there's that sense of it's happening for the first time for the dancer as well. And then we also have the dance center, our school. You know, students really learn to dance when they're on stage. That really pulls everything together. It gives it purpose, because when you're in the studio and you keep replicating these tendus and grand battements and whatever, but when you get in a costume and you're capturing the character, you're conveying this feeling, you're collaborating with all of your colleagues, you're helping to bring this experience to the audience, that's really unique and wonderful. And so we also are very interested in putting as many students on stage as we possibly can. We have 4 casts, and we also mix it all up. So you're performing with different people in different performances. And so it keeps it, you're literally on your toes.
This is my 4th season to do the same stuff I've been doing since my first year. But every time I have to do it, I think I grow every year because I put something different every time I have to do it. So it kind of feels fresh. And of course, John McFall helps us, like we can do some stuff differently every year just to make it fresh. So it becomes very personal.
1, 2, 3.
There's something very fascinating about the language of dance. It's limitless what's possible with the human body, how you can express certain feelings and qualities, whether it's anger or jealousy, or whether it's something very sublime and poetic. Is it lyrical, romantic? Is it joyous? Is it exhilarating? Is it just pure physicality? There's all of these things, and you can put them all together in different combinations. And it's exquisite for a dancer to discover his or herself, because they make it very unique.
It's a challenge, but a fun challenge, because you want to create a different story within yourself, a different character. For example, with Petrov, the father in Act 1, I try to actually almost treat it like everyday life. My wife, you know, one show I may be slightly a little upset with her because maybe she didn't iron my pants, or I'm mad at my son because, you know, he threw away my favorite pair of socks, or he was really... So all these little stories that which you want to take from real life, you want to bring it into the story. And I've learned that from working with, when we did Dracula with Michael Pink. He said, don't, you know, it's not, you're not acting to act. You want to actually take it as if it's your real life experience and you're just presenting it on stage.
Dancers are always on a journey of self-discovery. What's interesting about dance theater, about ballet, it actually, for a few hours sitting in a theater, can be a transporting experience. And those feelings can really linger. And dancers develop into artists.